Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Interesting Things Said by Uninteresting People, the show which is an hour of two guys just talking bollocks, really, isn't it? We're just talking about
Talking
whatever.
crap. Why are you listening?
My name's Ben, and as always, I'm joined by the handsome half of the team, Tom.
Hello, Ben.
This is our first 2017. I need to start
is.
saying 2017.
2K17.
2K. All right, we're not Madden NFL. Because the reason is, dude, I really have this. I've been thinking this since like 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
Is that when do you want to start living in the future, people? It's like stop saying 2017. You know, it makes you sound like an old timey sailor. The year 1926.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, grab it by the balls. 2017,
We're here.
2016. I'm there. I'm gradually getting into it.
2016. I can't wait for it to be 2020 because that just sounds cool.
Well, as the day job, you know, as the old optician day job, man, I'm going to love that year. It's going to be hilarious at work.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Dude, how was your Christmas and New Year?
My Christmas and New Year was pretty good. What did I do? We go to a friend's house pretty much every Christmas, and that's very common. And I go to Kelly's house after. New Year's had the gig, which I saw you at. Thank you for coming.
No, dude, it was my pleasure.
It was good. Obviously. Pardon me. Obviously, we had a new drummer in tow for that, so he did really well.
Yeah.
So if Toby listens to this, which he doesn't, thank you, Toby.
Definitely doesn't.
You did a solid job in a big time of need.
Yeah.
So thank you.
It was very cool. I haven't been back to because this was in Bideford, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which I always used to go to when I was about 18, 19.
Yeah, I went there a couple of times.
A few times.
Drinking cider out of a milk bottle.
Yep.
Feeling cool.
Been there. See, I feel like we missed the boat on this one because this year they had bars in the street, which they never used to have, and that would have made a world of difference to how much you had to conceal your alcohol, how much you had to duck into the pubs to use the toilets. Yeah, I feel like a real old man though. It got to like 11:45 and all the kids came out. It was brilliant. I thought it was really quiet before then.
Yeah.
Then all the fighty kids arrived and they're like,
fighty kids, place your bets. Get in a ring. That'd be great.
No, I still feel like we should have done the ITSBUP New Year's phone recorded Happy New Year.
Done it, yeah, Happy New Year. We should have just done it there on the battery life I've got on the MacBook. We were just set up middle of the thing, the noise all going on. I'm like, Ben, what's your favourite film?
Yeah. Dude, and speaking of films, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think we haven't talked about this, but I had a quick look earlier on today through films that are going to be released this year. Mm-hmm. And I know we're not necessarily like a film podcast.
No.
It's not really our specialty. Like but honestly, man, I'm thinking it's going to be quite a good year for films. For one, Power Rangers, the movie.
Wow.
That's on the way.
Yeah.
We've got the new Star Wars film coming up.
New Star Wars, yeah.
A few superhero ones. We've got Logan, looks pretty good.
And Spider-Man.
Oh, dude, yes.
And Guardians 2.
Yes.
Any Marvel film.
Dude,
it's just like, I'm so excited.
But it's also Justice League and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Both selected.
Mate, I saw an article on Wonder Woman and they were saying how desperately DC need that film to be good.
Yeah.
It needs to be a solid, good film because the expectation for Justice League is pretty low.
Yeah.
After Batman v Superman.
But this is the thing, man. I mean, on the one hand, I agree because also I think there was those rumours, weren't there, where the people who were involved with making Wonder Woman were turning around and going, it's crap. You know,
really?
There are a lot of leaked comments from the studio going like, look, we're really struggling to make this into a decent movie. Nowadays every film gets reshoots for various different technical reasons, but obviously that Spectre came out going, oh, they're doing reshoots.
It concerns me because this is another article I saw. It was like they're, and it was on The Verge. Do you check that website? It's just like a tech
occasionally,
blog. But they're just saying like the formula for good superhero movies is literally laid right in front of them from Marvel. Yeah, and like they don't have to take it word for word, but there's so many good parts in those movies that they just need to not copy, but copy.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
No, dude, exactly.
The formula's there; it's working. They can see it working, and they're just not. Obviously, it's a different tone to it.
See, this is what I like. Working. This is what I like about the trailer for Justice League because I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be good.
I mean, critically, you're right. I mean, expectation is low. It's in the toilet. I mean. But honestly, look at my new favourite actor, Ezra Miller, is looking like he's got a good part in it. One to watch for 2017. Yeah, no, dude, I'm because it looks more like a Marvel film. I think, you know, for me, it's got that. It's almost edging more towards that kind of tone.
Yeah.
Where it's not funny, but it's just not funny. No, but it's not. It's lighthearted more than
a bit
kind
more.
of.
Yeah, the Flash seems a bit more like, oh yeah, I'll join. Sounds awesome.
Yeah. No,
which is cool. Which I think they should kind of do.
Yeah.
Because gritty films can sometimes get so bogged down in the grit they forget that actually having superpowers or whatever has got a fun side, and it's easy to forget that. Oh, Batman v Superman, you wouldn't think that for 1 second.
Christ,
You'd be like,
no.
God, it sucks to be either
God, this
of them.
is
I don't
rubbish.
want to be either of them.
Yeah.
Apart from Batman being pretty cool.
Yeah, Batman's cool. Who do you feel like is cooler, Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I think Batman's cooler too. Now, this is completely my own personal theory based on about a sample of 5 people. Right. So you, me, and the 3 people that I went with to go and see Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
I have a nudgy feeling that boys tend to prefer Batman and girls tend to prefer Superman. Because, and I know this is complete horseshit pop psychology, but okay, how can I... So wouldn't it be interesting if this was true, that the boys appreciate a fallible man trying hard, working hard, and being like, I can overcome my weaknesses and just do the job, and girls appreciating a man who just shows up and is like, yep, you don't even worry about it. I'm just here.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
And I guess it would, you know, it probably works both ways. There are examples of, you know, female superheroes, and there's probably parallels that mirror it. That men prefer different female characters for different reasons. But just between those two, all the girls that I've spoken to are like, yeah, Superman's the coolest. All the guys like Batman's the coolest.
Mate, the reason for me anyway that would stick out, and I'm sure it does for most people, is that Batman is just human. Yeah. And that's the main thing. Like, it's obviously unobtainable to get what he's got, but to say like, oh, he's got superpowers, it's like it puts him in that different league. Whereas Batman is like, oh, he's just like you and me. Yeah. He's just hard.
There's a sequence from one of the Justice League comics where it's Green Lantern's talking to him. Yeah. Going, so what's your deal, man? You know, they're obviously like they're left alone. He's going, so what's your deal? Like, you know, are you some kind of vampire? He's like, no. He's like, well, you know, can you fly? He's like, no. Super strength? No. Yeah. It's like, wait, you're not just a guy dressed as a bat, are you? and that's the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's in one of the... I've seen one, Justice League War, I think, the animated one I've seen. Yeah, and he takes the ring off him without him seeing, and he's like, no, but I can do this. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, man.
Mate, it's starting to sound like we know loads about comics and stuff, but the truth is I've just read a lot of Wikipedia. I haven't read any.
It's like they say the spectator sees more of the game.
Yeah. But no, Batman's definitely cooler, in my opinion.
Just reining it back a little bit, what do you think is going to be the coolest film of this year coming up?
I don't want to be really boring or anything like that, but I think Dunkirk looks really cool.
Dunkirk does look really cool.
That looks really cool, and I do like war films. I don't like... It's going to sound weird. I don't like boring ones. Like, no, sure. Because a lot of people are like... If
do you not
say
like boring films?
Yeah. A lot of people in here, when I say to my girlfriend, do you want to watch this? Oh, what is it? It's a war film. No. And it's like, oh, but, you know, we actually watched Enemy at the Gates and she loved it.
Okay.
And that's a great war film.
I haven't seen it,
That's the sniper... It's like a sniper duel in Stalingrad. Okay. It's really good. And obviously Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, things like that. It's just, so I do like a war film. I do.
Cool, man.
World War II is horribly interesting. Again, I've not read too many Wikipedia pages on that. So either that, I guess, or I am really excited for Spider-Man because I'd just like to see what they do with it.
Yeah. I'm hoping that they manage to bring it back more towards like the actual Marvel films rather than they haven't got the best track record with it. Do you know what I'm looking forward to?
What?
Kong. Skull Island.
Dude,
oh yeah, it looks really good. Really,
I only
really
watched
cool.
King Kong the other day, the one with Jack Black. Literally the other day. Yeah. It's so long. Yeah. It's because we obtained it, and the one we obtained was the director's cut.
Oh Christ!
It was like 3 hours 20 minutes. That is the longest film I've ever sat through. I think because I think even the Lord of the Rings extended aren't 3 hours 20 minutes.
It's not quite, is it? It's about 3 hours. Yeah. Yeah.
Mate, it was a marathon. They're on that boat for ages.
Where does the monkey show up?
I know.
Sorry, I feel like we're getting distracted here, but we might as well talk about it. Me and my girlfriend watched the Harry Potter movies in order from Christmas to New Year. It was like a holiday thing. And when you're watching them, when you're choosing to download them to stream them, you know, through your chosen streaming service, it's really difficult not to find the extended editions.
Oh, really?
And I don't know how you feel about this. I think we have to be really careful with automatically assuming that an extended edition is going to be better than the theatrical release. Because unless
it's
like
for the fan, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Unless it's where the director's gone, no, this is what I wanted, and there were reasons why the studio or whatever made it shorter or they chopped it. Then that I can get behind that and kind of see what the director was after. But honestly, I'd much rather see the pared down what a bunch of people went, this is the best version of this film.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't always work that black and white,
that's true.
But for the most part, yeah, it's weird. It's weird now that they prefer to put that in front of you when you're looking to watch it. You know, that's what's pushed and gone. Look, here you go. Here's the long walk.
Yeah, that's very true.
Mate,
we should move on to good news.
Dude, I was going to say it's time for our new brand new segment.
Brand new segment while I load it up. So last podcast we had an idea. I had an idea for good news because there's a lot of bad news in 2016. But I have a list. I'm not going to just reel off a load of things, but I'm going to reel off like 2 or 3 cool things, and then we'll talk about one really cool thing. Anyway, this post is titled 2016 Didn't Suck.
Oh, right. Are you sure? Because I was there.
No, yeah.
A lot of it did.
We all were then. So the first thing that didn't suck, which is quite good, is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge paid off.
Oh, right. Okay.
We found a gene that is linked to ALS through the funding, which is a major breakthrough and one step closer to eliminating it. So well done everyone that did that. That was
fantastic. Give yourselves a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Because that's really good, though. That is really good news.
That is good.
Because a lot of people caught a lot of shit for that. Because they were saying, well, this doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't. But it really has. Yeah, that's really good.
So that's good news number 1.
Wait, what? There's more?
There's more good news. 2016 is great. And this one you may have seen on the internet. Tiger population is up in the first time in 100 years.
Wow.
2016... more tigers.
That is really good news.
That is great news.
I think China has said the panda population's stabilised or is
increasing?
Yeah, it has.
They're no longer in danger.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's a fucking animal that should just die off, though, isn't it? I mean,
I don't know
like
what the
pandas.
fuss is about it. It doesn't even do anything.
They're shit. They're bears designed to eat meat that eat one type of plant.
They are shit.
Just let it go. Let them just... Oh, no. I like pandas, really, but...
I've got to find the last one because it was the last one, then we'll move on to the other main one.
I
think I put it in pocket. Is no. Oh, yes. Malaria is now been eradicated in Sri Lanka.
Wow,
that's good news.
That is really good news. Do you know how they did it? What was the? Because I think someone was telling me about this a while ago, where they were talking about using lasers to zap.
To like break their wings or something.
Yeah, but the thing is, it could. This is something that if I had notes prepared about this, it'd be way more interesting. But basically, it's the tech was that they could pick out there was like a minute difference in the frequency of their wing flaps. They're buzzing, you know, as the wings flap them down.
Like a frequency.
It changes when a mosquito's got a malaria-infected blood in it, or it's something like that. Something about their movement patterns. So you can then they set up these lasers that would just pick them out of the air. They'd set them around a perimeter of, say, the idea was you put them around a village or you put them around a campsite or a tent or whatever, and they just go pss, 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 and just zap these.
I would love to watch that.
Yeah.
Especially if you could see the laser.
Yeah. Oh,
I'd
dude, absolutely.
Smoke.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
You know the coolest thing about this is I'm. People you can call me out in the comments if I'm saying this now and I'm completely wrong, but I have a feeling it's based on the PlayStation camera as well. I have a feeling it's based, or it might be the Kinect. The PlayStation springs to mind.
The Kinect just turned into like a hack box thing, didn't it?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
No one used it for games. Like, I want to make this out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, they got rid of it by a new type of insecticide.
Okay.
And health workers went after the mosquitoes themselves, and to catch them, they offered themselves as bait. Those efforts paid off. This year, it's made official. Sri Lanka is now malaria-free. That's
actually insane, dude. That's really, really good news. I guess.
Good news. And the last bit, so that's like 3 bits of pretty good news,
despite
all the crap we went through.
Well, congratulations. Can we like edit in like a fanfare noise?
Yeah. But the best bit of good news, I guess, but then it might not be, which is what we're going to talk about now, is CRISPR.
Yes.
Ben, what is CRISPR?
CRISPR is difficult to describe. It's genetic engineering technology. Is the simplest. That's what it's concerned with. And it's really exciting, isn't it? Like there are a few there aren't often things that come along where you can look at it and go, genuinely, holy cow, this is going to change a lot. This is a big deal. And yeah, it's basically like it's bacteria based, isn't it? It uses bacterial structures to edit gene sequences, basically.
So it's basically like I'll try and put it in like a term we can all understand. A
term we can all enjoy.
Probably will go horribly wrong, but basically, it's like what's the best way to describe it? It's like a factory, and your cells go in it, or no, you're not your cells. Sorry, your DNA goes into it or something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It then gets edited by this CRISPR, and it comes out the other side. And the edit can be like resistance to disease, or blue eyes, or something.
Or anything that we've identified, basically.
Anything, yeah. So it's cool.
What I do like about the idea of it is that it's kind of like, it's going to sound a bit of a weird comparison. It's almost like the BFG mixing dreams, right?
Yeah.
Because the way which I always loved from the story, where he manages to make very specific stuff by mixing together very vague ideas, very vague concepts. You know, like here's the sled bit of the dream, and here's the snow bit of the dream, and we'll put it together. That's what I like about this, is that it's using biology, but in such a specific way. I mean, they're calling it's like the surgical scalpel of gene editing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can edit single chromosomes, you can edit single sort of nucleotides, single little bits of DNA.
So you can basically have whatever you want.
Yeah.
In like an evil way, that sounds kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like someone could be like, right, you're gonna be huge, or so. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want, but. The thing we watched was the Kurzgesagt in a nutshell of it.
Yes.
Which I showed to you.
Yeah.
And it's just, the title is just Designer Babies,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, which kind of leaps right to the main crux of the debate about it, doesn't it?
So, like, let's imagine some sort of crazy future, whereas when you get pregnant, you go to doctors and you define eye colour, hair colour, length,
it's like the start of Fallout.
Yeah. You pick your character.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the scary side, but on the good side... disease, prevent all that sort of stuff, resistance to whatever.
What I think is interesting about it, though, is something they actually touch on in that video as well, is where it's saying this is happening already. And because it is scary, and it is something we should be looking at and going, what are the implications of this?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you look at sperm banks, where women go and they go, well, what kind of person do you want the sperm from?
Yeah.
And I say, and naturally people go, right, tall, handsome, is he successful? Is he
funny,
smart? Exactly, yeah. And it's so weird. It's so weird that now we've got a tool potentially where when it's evolved to its conclusion, its natural conclusion, we're going to literally be able to go, right, like you say, blue eyes, tick, done.
Yeah,
sort it out.
It's not a problem. They just pop in a CRISPR and you're done. Just one small injection. And that's all your stuff chosen. That's scary.
But then you're exactly right, talking about, say, preventable diseases, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you get your cancer shot, you get your HIV shot,
yeah,
and all that.
As a baby, right, cancer's gone, HIV's not a problem, all that sort of stuff.
It's mental.
But that kind of, I mean, to get off CRISPR, but it kind of feeds in, there was a human overpopulation video as well.
Yes, yeah.
And that was really interesting because everyone seems to be so worried about overpopulation at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's going crazy. But that video actually puts your mind at rest loads, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, it is. I remember, I can't remember at all who it was. Someone was on a podcast a while ago saying that the human population growth will stop. Because if you think, I mean, say wherever you are, it doesn't really matter what country you're in. But for every couple that choose not to have kids, and then for every couple that don't have kids, and then for every person who doesn't become a couple, or every person who dies, for all of those people who don't produce kids, the other people in the world don't just have to make, obviously, children to replace themselves, plus they also have to do the same for everyone who never has a kid.
Yeah.
So the number of kids that everyone else would have to do to keep pushing the population up is insane.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to happen.
No. They said it's going to... Well, the video shows it go up to about 10 billion or 11 billion, then kind of levels out.
Yeah, that's
and then it goes down, actually, doesn't it? Back to around 8 or something.
Yeah.
But they think the 12 billionth person will never exist.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's not going to happen.
So
but one of those reasons is because, like, in England and all the first world countries, we've all reached that stage where basically in poorer countries, women generally have more babies because their mortality rate is higher.
Yeah.
So it was saying in India, like at the moment, it's like 7 kids is average. That's average. And we were the same in 1950 or something. It was like 5 kids of average.
Yeah.
But now it's 2.2 or something.
Yeah.
And they're saying India in the last 30 years have got rid of 7, there's now 4.
Mm-hmm.
And they say as more developed they get, the less kids they'll have, because
Yeah.
there's no chance of them dying.
Yeah.
And that's
It's
effectively
kind of a
what
good
it is.
thing, isn't it? It's
So
nice.
any chance there is to help kids, you should do it, because that's going to stop human population growth.
Yeah.
Weird as it sounds, help kids live, but then they'll stop having more kids.
Yeah.
So if you live in a place where I better have 8, just in case, like 2 die of famine and then 1 dies of this.
That must be really tough, though, dude. I mean, can you imagine ever actually having to either... I guess it's like, it's the sort of thing that could come about subconsciously, where it just becomes the culture, where you're not actively thinking, better have a spare, better have a few kids spare.
We need a spare.
But that would be a hell of a decision to make, wouldn't it? Like, right, dear, let's buckle up, because we're going to have 4 more kids.
You're pregnant forever.
Yeah. Oh, God. But this is quite interesting about the CRISPR stuff, because if we start living longer because of it, I mean, if we start, why not? If aging is a genetic condition or a genetic degradation, then why not use the tools to kind of keep you young forever? Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that would be scary. But also, like, if someone said to me, like, do you want to live forever? I'd be like, it's a pretty good offer, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But then would you? That's hard. That's probably a whole podcast in itself.
Yeah,
would you
right.
live forever?
Well, there's a really good... I'm a fan of a sci-fi writer called John Wyndham.
Yeah.
I think I might have mentioned him on the podcast before. He was back in the 1950s, 60s. He was writing books. There's a really good book of his called Trouble with Lichen.
Yeah.
Which is about the discovery of a lichen that prolongs life. It reduces your metabolism, what makes his books quite good is that they're not techie. They're not, they're quite short, almost like novellas.
Yeah.
But he's got such a knack, or had such a knack for understanding what issues would come up as a result of a situation.
Class system, wouldn't it?
Well, exactly. Yeah,
like that.
Exactly.
People can afford it, look young, amazing.
So, for example, the heads of companies, dictators, I know that's in that video as well, would be the ones who could get it, and then you just put them in place forever. Yeah. So you have the same families running the world forever because you can just keep...
Assuming it was expensive.
Yes, yeah. But then they say as well, it would... I mean, this was written at a time when obviously women had far fewer powers, and it was a less evolved time than we're in now.
Yeah.
But so in the book, one of the themes is that the women can wait to have kids.
Yeah.
Because they're not having to worry about, right, I need to start a family before I'm too old and sacrifice my career, which is obviously was the rule at the time. And so there's an interesting kind of exploration of that. And now we're looking at that being real life.
Yeah.
That could actually...
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, dude.
If they edit a way to reproduce... there is something you lose when you get older, isn't it? Elastogen or something weird like that that makes you look older and you stop producing this and that and all that sort of thing. Ugh.
It's scary. But then it makes me think of something else, actually, these sci-fi ideas that are coming into real life, because I don't think we've talked about this before, but the trolley problem.
What's that?
Where you have a speeding train heading towards 5 people. Yeah. But if you're standing next to the switch box and you can pull the lever, and it will switch tracks and it'll only kill 1 person.
Yeah.
And it's basically that situation evolves over a few different. So it's the idea of morality between, well, I've saved 5 people's lives, but I've killed that 1 person.
Oh, and if you don't do anything,
and if you don't do it, you've let 5 people die, and then it evolves into being like, if you would you push? It sounds silly, but would you push a really fat person off a bridge to stop the train from killing the 5 people? Because the outcome's the same, but you're the one doing it. You're directly doing it.
Yeah, you'd be more comfortable with the lever, wouldn't you, as opposed to...
Yeah, but now these kind, and that's actually, I'll try and put a link to an explanation of that, because that is a genuinely interesting kind of subject to read up on. But now we're having... That's all been like a theoretical, philosophical kind of question for years. But now with self-driving cars, you have to make that decision.
Mate, it's going to get like iRobot. When it's like you had a better chance of survival than this person.
Exactly.
So I took that turn. Whereas a human would take, would try and turn away from the child as opposed to turn away from the 8-year-old man.
Exactly. So we're actually having to program this in now. A human being is having to sit there and go, right, so in this situation, Google car, you need to do this. Hit and just click.
Do you know what? I always thought self-driving cars not when I was younger, but I guess when I was younger, but I never really thought about it that much then. I always assumed it'd be on some sort of rail system.
Yeah, sure.
So they wouldn't, it couldn't crash because it was on a rail.
Yeah,
so there is no but now it's not the case, is it? They just drive themselves
Yeah,
around our normal roads.
Speaking of future tech, this kind of leads. Actually, no. Let's do an edit point here.
Okay.
And get rid of that because there is something. There is something else I was going to say about CRISPR before we move on because it relates to. It's only a quick kind of idea on the end. So there is another interesting thing about all this CRISPR stuff, which is that we're like outstripping our own evolution again. Okay. There's this idea that because we're one of the reasons that we're so successful as a species on the planet is that we're not limited by our bodies because of our brains. Yeah. So we can get past what we're physically able to do. Yeah. By thinking like how to invent the wheel or invent a car or whatever, getting onto the moon, launching ourselves out of the atmosphere. But now it seems like we're going to be able to edit our bodies as well. I mean, if you could, hey, is it going to be that we can genetically engineer ourselves to need less oxygen or to be able to survive underwater for indefinitely? Yeah. Is that going to become the new thing?
Yeah, the government issue a pill once a month of the new thing you'll need this season.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Breathing carbon dioxide because it's going to get bad this year. You just take the pill and it's done.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
But then it's like, well, yeah, again, then it would be weird to elect not to do that. Yeah. As well, that's a weird kind of.
You've got to push it forward.
Yeah.
I guess if you were smart enough and you were thinking like, oh, if we can, then why don't we?
Yeah. But this is I don't know if you saw it on the news recently. It was talking about how cesarean sections are leading to people's hips becoming narrower. Obviously, particularly women's hips becoming narrower.
Not ours.
Not ours. Well, no, not particularly. But this is the thing. It was a really frustrating discussion on the radio because it's on the Jeremy Vine show for one. I was listening to this at lunch at work, and we sit there with our head in our hands. So what made it frustrating was that the people ringing in, bless them, didn't really understand what was going on. Yeah. They were saying, "Is it because we're choosing to have cesareans over natural births?" It's like, well, no. It's the fact that the babies that would have died because the mother had narrow hips are surviving to carry on narrow hips. Yeah. Right. So it's like, what do you do if we're going to have overpopulation? I know we're not going to get to that level of overpopulation, but what if it's the same kind of issue? What do you do? Do you let them die in the short term for the long-term benefit of the species? Because otherwise, will we ever get to the point where people can't have kids?
Yeah, and oh my god, yeah, and you just
you have to have a C-section. Yeah. So, but what do you do though? Because the only solution to that is to let natural selection take its course. Yeah. And kill off people who carry those genes. Or that's a proper dilemma. Yeah. Or do you save them?
Well, you'd have to, wouldn't you? You wouldn't be like, no, sorry, your hips.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Get a tape measure out. Like, no. Yeah.
It's I don't know, man. I don't know. I choose to believe that life will find a way, I guess. Yeah. But it is a hell of a dilemma. Yeah.
Petite girls have been having babies for years, though. Surely.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a genuine concern, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's all the reasons why people used to die in childbirth a lot more. And don't get me wrong, this is obviously a really sad thing. It's not good.
No, not at all.
But it does make you think, by not letting that happen.
That's how a gene pool works, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit horrible.
Should we talk about something else?
Yeah.
On that happy note.
Happy bombshell.
Because last time we talked, I'd been to see Star Wars and you had yet to.
But You've seen it now.
Should we talk about that?
Yeah. Let's do it. Star Wars Rogue One. Star Wars story.
A Star Wars story. A Star Rogue One story wars. Should we do like a non-spoiler general chit chat first?
Yeah, and then we'll get into spoilers. Is there spoilers? There obviously is, but
yeah. Not really. I suppose not really. It's like spoiling the Titanic.
Yeah. You obviously know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good film.
Yeah.
It was what I kind of expected it to be.
Yeah.
Because I'd heard when the people making it were saying this is going to be more of a war-y sort of film. Yeah. A bit darker. Yeah, I think it lived up to expectations. Yeah. How about you? What did you think?
I thought it was really good. It's probably. I don't want to lavish it with praise, but I thought it was better than the majority of Star Wars films.
Oh, really?
I thought it was really good.
Okay.
But, and I'll colour my opinion. I watched it, and then there's a video on YouTube. You may have seen it. There's this girl, and she does all she does is like Star Wars critiques.
Okay.
And she started off by doing a Suicide Squad one, and that got her like really big.
Okay.
And she was just talking to her like a rubbishy camera. and you can see she's kind of evolved a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was like the 10 reasons why you thought you enjoyed
Rogue
One, and then she explained them. I was like, oh my god, she's right. And
really?
then after I watched that, I was like, do you know what? Maybe it wasn't that good.
No,
but,
man.
it's
like what you like.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was awesome. The one thing I really liked about it, was there wasn't much force. I'm doing inverted commas here. Mumbo jumbo.
Air quotes.
Air quotes. There was no kind of like, I will believe in the force. And that's it. It was all very human. There was one guy that was force sensitive, wasn't he?
The monk guy,
the monk,
yes.
And he was very, like, kind of like, you didn't see much of his force stuff. You saw like little bits here and there, and they were really cool. But it wasn't based on that. Yeah,
it wasn't explicit enough. It wasn't like an obvious thing.
No.
You know, all of this stuff just trod that line of he could just be a really good martial artist.
Yeah.
You know, he could just be really good.
Yeah. But there's a few scenes where he managed to get his stick to come into his hand. You're like, okay, that's force stuff then.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other stuff he seems to do is just like martial arts.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Storyline wise, what did you think?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it was respectful of the first one, episode 4. I thought it was quite respectful. I liked it. There was, mate, you've got to watch this thing after. I'll send it to you because it just destroys everything you know about it.
Oh, okay. We can link it up as well.
Yeah, we'll link those in a nutshell videos and this one. But she'll very quickly talk about character arcs, and she's like, she starts off, you may have thought this was a dark Star Wars theme. With lots of like sad and unfortunate things happening. But really, let's look at it, and then she says, the main character, what's she called?
Jin.
Jin, she's like, oh, Jin, troublemaker. Where's the evidence of that?
Yeah.
When does she make trouble at any point in the film?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah.
Well, because that's interesting, because that specifically, there was more of that in the trailer.
Yeah.
With shots of her saying things like, they're right. It wasn't anything of her being but she's saying that they're like, they're reading through her list of crimes, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that I don't know, it was weird that got cut out, because that would have fleshed it out a bit more.
Yeah. And the really good one I thought was she talks about, I guess we might as well put a spoiler alert now. Spoiler alert. At the start, the main guy in it, he shoots that other rebel, doesn't he? Which is kind of morally, you're like, oh, he kind of did it to save himself.
Yeah.
Or maybe he did, or maybe didn't. And throughout the rest of the film, doesn't do anything like that ever again.
Yeah.
And she mentions that, and she says, like, he seems to be taking orders from this sort of person, but nothing's ever explored. Yeah. He doesn't do anything dubious after that.
No, this is the thing though, right? Because on the one hand, I think she's right in that there are so shallow character arcs.
Yeah.
Like the people who are at the end of the film are basically the same people at the start of the film.
Yeah.
There's no revelation. There's no character development. There's no, because I think that drives a movie a lot of the time is when someone changes who they are.
It, and you're like, yeah, that's,
exactly. Because otherwise, exactly, yeah. But on the other hand, though, we knew who those characters were. Yeah. Regardless of how it was put across, watching towards the end of the film, we knew she was a bit of not a wild child. She was a bit, had been a rebel. She'd been an orphan, obviously. Yeah. He was a bit dodgy. He'd done things that needed to be done.
Yeah. It makes you think about the. Oh, we're getting really geeky now. It makes you think like the Rebel Alliance isn't all that good, which was quite good. I thought that was quite nice. Really it's like, actually, it's just a bunch of people that aren't happy. Yeah. They're not all actually good.
Well, what this brought out as well was the alliance bit of it too. Yeah. Where not everyone agreed on what needed to be done.
That was good to see. It wasn't really just cool. Like good v evil. Yeah. It was a bunch of people that are unhappy clubbed together to be like, this guy sucks, but I still want to do my own thing.
Yeah. Well, Saul Guerrera's character as well. Yeah. Where he's more of an extremist, and they go, look, he's not doing it the right way, but we need to get together. Yeah. Yeah.
But this is another thing. I don't want to keep banging on about a video, but she's like, Jin spends all of her life growing up with this guy. That guy. Yeah. And when he dies, no emotion, couldn't give a crap. Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, effectively shrugs her shoulders. Yeah. And she's like, she was, how old was she when she was found?
Oh, was it like
4?
7? Yeah.
Young
kid age, yeah.
Kiddo, you'd see it as a father figure, wouldn't you? Regardless of how, you would be upset, but she just flies off, like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. So long.
I thought the, was it C2SO? Or what was it called?
K2SO,
K2SO, I thought was awesome.
Yeah, dude, he was a really good character.
I thought he was so well done. And I actually felt a bit sad when he got shot to bits, because he's like an old robot for them. Yeah. And he's obviously, he's a robot, he doesn't feel any pain, but he's there like still helping them as like he's being slowly like destroyed by blasters. Like, oh, that's a bit sad.
That was really cool, but it didn't seem like he'd had. I think his was probably the most. It wasn't obvious, but the more obvious character development. You know, he seems very cold in the start,
and then
he makes that decision. You know,
because throughout the start you'd imagine he'd just walk off if it wasn't really his thing. But he stays for the whole thing towards that end part, and that was great. He was great throughout as well. I thought he was quite funny what he said, and definitely the comic relief.
Sure, good. What do you know? There are two things that I didn't like, and then I want to talk about what is obviously the best part of the film. There are two things I didn't like.
I think I know one thing you didn't like. I'd guess, but I'll just say yes.
Well, the first one, there's a lot less to say about. Yeah. The first one, don't put the droids in it. C-3PO and R2-D2.
Okay.
For they're in there for 2 seconds, pointless. I know it's a bit of fan service. Didn't need it. Felt forced. Weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially because they were literally, it was just like, cut to them. Oh, this seems weird. Cut away again. Yeah, beep, boop, cut away again. They didn't need it.
No.
And you know what? It pulled me out of the movie because up to then I'd been going. I'd kind of got invested in the world that we were in, and then that was too much of a. No, it's not bad to be reminded.
They're
of a Star Wars
almost
film.
a reminder of the fantasy, though, aren't they?
Exactly.
As opposed to this is a war film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was a bit too much like. Yeah, it's like the director just stopped the movie. If you look on your right, there's some robots you recognise. Ding, ding.
We're in the same universe, by the way. Nudge, nudge.
So there was that. The second thing is something that a lot of people have talked about not being entirely happy with in the movie, and that's those CGI characters.
I'm going to throw in the spanner now, but go and say what you say.
No, go on.
I didn't mind them.
Okay.
What did you think of them?
I thought they were shit. No, dude. I thought, okay, so again, the easy one to talk about, I thought Leia was cool because although she's probably the more ropey CGI...
It was brief.
Yeah. And, they almost went they had the start of the scene when it's her, she's out of shot.
Yeah,
but you see her body.
That was great, yeah.
That was really well done, and it was sympathetic to the tech as well. They've obviously gone, okay, we know it doesn't look great, but let's give her one line.
Yeah.
Where and everyone cheered, and it was like, that's really cool.
It was really cool.
It was enough to kind of go, right, we get it. It's okay, Star Wars. We know the tech isn't 100% yet.
Yeah.
We'll forgive you that one.
Dude, actually, maybe you're right. I didn't mind them when I was watching it, but when I think about it, they could because it's the main general guy, isn't it? That's the main CG.
Moff Tarkin, Grand Moff Tarkin, yeah.
I guess when you think about it, he could have easily been like a hologram or something like that. He could have easily been like that sort of tech, but it doesn't have to look very good. Put
him in shadows a little bit more.
Yeah.
Put him, have him on a video screen.
Just a video screen would have been fine.
Chat to him through that. I can respect them being brave with it because they're not idiots. They've looked at the film the same as we have and gone, "Yep, that's right. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one." But dude, I don't know, man. It was.
I didn't mind.
Weird.
Do you know, when I first watched it, because it's good CG. It's not beating around the bush. It does look good. And when I first saw it, I was like, he looks odd. Oh, he's the CG. And when he starts moving his mouth, it's a bit more obvious.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have just had less lines or something.
I tell you what, it occurs to me, what about, because obviously he goes on to become, he's commanding the Death Star in A New Hope. Why not have Krennic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it Ben Mendelsohn?
Yeah, I thought he was really good, Krennic.
He was really good, really well acted character as well. Why not have him with limited interaction with old Tarkin through most of the film?
Or maybe just a slightly younger Tarkin.
Yeah.
Just a slightly older guy that looks pretty similar.
Yeah. Would have been
fine.
What's Bill Nye doing? Because he could probably do it.
Yeah.
But literally, then at the end of the film, Tarkin could just step in and go, I'm taking control of this. Now it works. Yeah. Because that would have almost worked...
in a similar fashion.
It would have been pretty good. Well, I don't know.
Steps out the shadows, one quick line, I'm in control now.
Yeah, thanks very much for your efforts.
That. Yeah.
Because that's the only scene he needed. Yeah. He didn't really drive anything else that was...
He could have been on the watch thing that pops up with the hologram, whatever. Wouldn't have mattered.
There is a right answer to this question. Was that what you thought I had a problem with?
Yeah, it was. The CG. I didn't know you had a problem with C-3PO and all that. But I see a point, definitely.
What was the best bit of the film? There is a right answer.
Right towards the end.
Yeah, really?
Obviously, Darth Vader is in it, but I'm and my friend said this. I think they did the right thing by showing him briefly as well.
Yes.
Because there's a really good scene of him, and probably not everyone would know what it is unless you had read as much Wikipedia as I
Fair.
had. Is
I'm quite
you
the scholar.
see Darth Vader early on, and he's in that tank.
Yes.
And he's without his armor, so his legs and arm is off.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's being, I guess, cleaned or scrubbed or something.
And like kept alive. Yeah, he's
Kept
in
alive.
the
He's
back tank, isn't he?
some
Yeah.
sort of crazy tank. Yeah. And you see that very briefly. So not many people would know. Well, unless you knew Star Wars, you probably know. But
Yeah,
if you didn't
yeah.
know, if you were just going to see the film, you'd be like, who the hell's that?
Yeah.
And then when he does come in and towards the end, it's probably about, was it 10 minutes worth of him? Maybe less?
Less. I'll do less than that.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah, like 5 minutes scene. So before we talk about that, I really liked the shot of him in being healed, in the tank.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Because what it added, I thought, because I know from reading around it, from it's not really explicitly said in the films, but he hates being in the suit.
Yeah, he does.
The character finds it really itchy, it's uncomfortable, it's pressurized,
it sticks in
hot,
as well.
It sticks, it's horrible, like rashy kind of.
Yeah.
And I thought that shot I mean, I said this to my friend Mike. He made a good point that you see him without the helmet in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
But I felt like that this was more. This is like you see that he actually doesn't want to spend all his time in the suit.
No, and that makes him more angry and then more powerful or whatever.
I mean, because it's very realistic as well. You hear people who've had a leg amputated who don't like wearing the prosthetic legs all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's uncomfortable.
Itchy, not right.
Whereas from the outside, you'd think, well, why would you not do that all the time? Because
Yeah.
it's if you've got no arms and no legs, why would you not wear the fake arms and legs?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I thought that was really good. I thought that added in that one shot added a whole extra dimension.
Yeah.
To the character.
He's vulnerable as well. He's just in the tank. Anything could happen at that point. He's protected obviously by a few people.
Yeah, yeah.
But it showed, I guess, his vulnerable side.
Yeah.
In that respect.
What a man, dude! That last shot though, with him just chopping wood, just going for it, dude.
There's a scene right towards the end and he just kind of goes ape, doesn't he? He just goes for it, and you're like, yeah, he's a proper bad guy, isn't he?
So cool, dude. I mean, I know this has been said before as well. People have said about how it's nice to see him at his peak, where this is why he's a big bad in the rest of this is why he's such a feared character. But man, it's like when after the original trilogy were released, where you didn't really have the tech to do fast-paced lightsaber fights and that kind of business. But then they went back and did the prequels, and everyone went, "Oh, the choreography of the fights is much more energetic. It's kind of cool,
also jumping around and
stuff. But obviously, he's not in that as Vader. So dude,
it's the first time you see him like properly go for it, don't you?
Yeah,
and he makes quick work of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you see people trying to run away like through that door, and he's like, "Let me in."
Dude, that was so tense.
Yeah.
Like that was proper. That was very, very well made.
Yeah, it was. It was a good scene.
There was a particular thing I liked in it as well, where he flings the guy at the ceiling, only because the guy proper flattens. Like he doesn't just hit the ceiling. He's all of him against it. Bolt flat. Like he's being proper. Squash.
There's some choking parts as well, isn't there?
You can't have a film without Vader choke. Like.
It's good because that kind of comes out. No, you don't see him. You just see the guy start choking. And And the second that happens, you're like, oh.
Do you know what I like particularly about that though?
What?
Is that I'm going to do it here. He was doing like the choke action, the hand posture, but down by his waist.
Yes,
and it immediately made me feel like that game where you
punch each other. But if you put your finger in it, you get punched.
Oh yeah. It's like look what's this down here? The little O circle.
Yeah. Mate, great film. Really good addition to the series.
Yeah, no, I thought so.
In many ways, you could ignore it. Like you don't have to watch that to enjoy Star Wars. If you just like the films, you can ignore it. But for people that like it, it was. Someone said this. It was my friend Mark, who's really into Star Wars. He said the cinematographer for that also did a lot of war films. So all the parts where they're fighting and that actually look like a war film, not when they're running through the forest and all that.
Yes,
those are very similar scenes to what would be in a war film when they're like charging forward.
What was interesting as well, there was on a slightly related note, there was a great article, I think it was on Wired maybe, talking about it was strategic analysis of the rebels and the Empire, and saying, look, these are where their flaws are, but this is how they would band together. This is how they would fight. Yeah, and that's quite. I'll try and find a link for that one because I'm not going to butcher it by trying to half remember it now. But
one of the best things as well is they explain how the Death Star blew up so quickly.
Yes,
that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
We said spoilers earlier, but basically Jin's dad puts in like a chain reaction.
Yeah,
but only he knows about. So everything's linked up. So he said one concentrated blaster to this part of the engine will blow up everything. Yeah, and that kind of seals a really big, not a big hole, but a lot of people are like, it's a massive. How would it have been destroyed like this?
Yeah. Well, people have always said as well, like of the original film, where they're going, well, only one exhaust port. Pff, come on, you know, or a port that leads right to the engine. You know.
Yeah, but obviously it's been designed like that by a rebel, I guess.
Yeah, and that's why you need the plans. You know, you really would. Because you say this port fired this hole down here.
Well, exactly. Yeah, when it's as big as a moon.
Yeah.
It's a good film. You should watch it.
Yeah, so
it's worth seeing at cinema as well, I think.
Oh, absolutely. If you can still find someone that's showing it. I know we're just bang out of date with this, aren't we?
Yeah.
it's like always playing catch up with what we've seen. But yeah, I'd definitely recommend
Star Wars. Let's move on.
Okay.
There's something I wanted to talk to Ben about for ages. Ages and ages.
Ages and ages.
Anticipated.
Years.
Oh no. So basically, Ben does lots of stuff. But he's blushing already. Ben does lots of stuff, like throughout the years, like write a book. Ben's written a book.
Right.
Ben's been in multiple bands.
None of these so far have been any good, but okay.
And you ran like 60 miles, was it?
It was 75.
70, yeah, oh, sorry. Get it right. Yeah, 75 miles in a day. And all this kind of stuff, because he's always got something on the go.
Okay,
He's
sure.
always got something on the go, including this. This is like a new on the go thing.
That's true. Yeah.
2 years? It was 2 years ago, really, wasn't it? 2014?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
Ben and his brother started, it's like storytime, basically started their own record label called Super Sick Records. I'll give a weird intro now. Called Super Sick Records. And
I'm going to sit back and just listen to this.
It was cool. Like, basically, I think the idea of it was, you know, it's very difficult to get any kind of coverage from a label, especially if you're a local band. Effectively, unless you pour in loads of money and loads of time and you're good enough, you're not going to get any attention from a label. Mm-hmm. So, Ben and Joe set this thing called Super Sick Records, which I guess started local, wasn't it? It's kind of like a local thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then the idea is you pay a monthly subscription I'm going to say in a similar sense to Spotify.
Yeah.
But it was £2 a month, which I think was definitely the right price.
Sure,
to put it at.
yeah.
£2 a month, and you get every single release from us, and it's once a month.
Yeah.
So once a month, you get a new piece of music, recorded, made, you know, everything kind of tailored locally. Yeah. Really, I'm going to sound lame here, but a really noble idea, I thought. I was like, do you know what? That's actually really cool. Like, no one does that. That's a totally new idea as far as I know of.
Sure.
You know, obviously, it's different to Spotify because you keep the music. It's not streamed. It's, you know, here it is. Here's the download.
Yeah.
So, yeah, quite a noble, like, you know, it's local. And then it kind of branched out to a bit more less local with, like, bands coming down from wherever. Yeah. And wherever. Was this someone from America as well?
Yeah. We had an American band.
And again, like £2 a month, and just guaranteed your release, depending on, obviously, you might not like the release every month, but the fact but you might love it. But then, you know, the fact that it's £2 a month, it's like you forget about it. Yeah. And I forgot about it pretty much the second after I signed up. Yeah. And I always thought it was cool, but it's recently stopped. Well, it hasn't stopped, has it?
We stopped doing the monthly. Go from there. Well, no, we started doing the monthly. Stopped doing the monthly releases recently, and you know what? Honestly, it was the right. It's a sad thing to do. It's a sad thing to have to talk about, but it was absolutely the right thing to do. Yeah. I know we've talked about it before, like when creative stuff stops being fun, and you end up it's just a grind, and it really, man, it really
everything
got to the
reflects that as well.
Yeah.
I've noticed that in loads of, like, even if it's TV programs or something, when they get taken over by someone else, you can tell. Yeah,
absolutely, man. And the thing is, you know, I know you and I both watched a fair number of videos on YouTube. Yeah. If it's someone that you've watched repeatedly, and you know you watch a fair bit of their stuff, you can always tell the videos where they're just not as into it. Yeah. It's like, I'm doing this because I need to put a video out.
I need the money or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, dude, it was Noble was one way. It was just different, man. I mean, we figured we wanted to try and like make something where it was just relied on people working together to make something cool, you know.
And it was probably the first 6 months when you had a few shows as well.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
It seemed really cool, and I was like, this is awesome. The first show was at the it's like a church hall, wasn't it?
It was like a little chapel.
But it was quite nice. It was like I think it set a tone for it, and I was like, you know what, they're doing something different. It's in somewhere different. Yeah. It's quite nice. All the people that are in the local music scene are here. Yeah. Everyone's happy. You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like quite a nice, happy first show.
Dude. This is cool. We had some wicked times, man. And I stand by the fact we helped people, you know, with other people. We made some really, really good stuff and really good music. But there are a load of reasons why I felt like it was time to call time on it.
Do you think it's the schedule of one a month was probably...
It's pretty punishing. Yeah, no, dude, it was really punishing.
Because I mean that's a lot of work.
It
to
absolutely
do an EP, was it 5 tracks or something?
5 tracks every month. Yeah,
that's a lot. That is a lot.
It is. It's hard work. It's the way I just tend to describe this to people is that it's like the triangle of effort, reward, and enjoyment. Yeah. Where if it was any one of those things wasn't there or was there in the wrong balance, was actually in our case, if any of them were working, then we probably would have kept doing it. You know, it was because effort-wise, it just got hard. I mean, our business structure was basically that our employees, if you like, you know, with the people we were having to work with, were just people, you know, the bands that we'd met and bands that we were recording. And that doesn't always work the best, you know, in terms of a business strategy, in terms of a business structure. So effort-wise, it was difficult to get one out a month. Enjoyment-wise, when we started it, we said we just wanted to make something cool, and that kind of, we weren't able to enjoy it anymore because of how difficult it had become. Yeah. And then reward wasn't there either. I mean, we always made a profit. You know, it wasn't. You know, it was never supposed to be a money-making exercise.
Yeah. It's not the idea of it as such.
But on the other hand, if we'd have been making thousands and thousands of pounds every month, then we would have put up with the effort and the, you know. So any one of those would have let us. But you know what? I'm happy we did it. And I'm not just trying to posture and go, oh well, I'm very proud of what we accomplished.
No, that's fair.
Genuinely, it was an experiment that we tried for a couple of years. You know, I'm very proud to have done it. But it was cool.
Like when obviously I was on it for pretty much beginning to end. I think I'm going to sound like a knob now, but you probably knew. There's one point where I de-signed up. And I was like, do you know what? Actually, I don't want to do it anymore. And like, I look back on that and think, what? To be honest, because like I think there was 2 releases that came out that I wasn't overly keen on, and I was at the time I was a bit like, oh, why would I? And so for some reason I cancelled it. Literally the next month I think I signed back up because I was like, what am I doing this with my mates anyway?
And that's the difficult thing.
It's stupid.
You know, however much you dude, it's absolutely fine. You know, there's people who've been on it, who haven't been on it, who signed up for single releases and then unsubscribed straight, because we never tied people in. You know, we never said you have to do it.
It's not like 6 months.
Yeah. And I don't know, dude. I'm just glad that people enjoyed it for what it was. You know, it wasn't a bad thing for people to join and then leave, or leave and then join, whatever.
But I think the idea is still. I mean, the problem is with Spotify and streaming now, it probably couldn't compete. But I like the idea that if a label, like, say a bigger label, like Fueled by Ramen or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, do you know what? We're going to do our own version of Spotify. It's £4 a month or however much.
Yeah.
You get every release by us.
Yes.
Once a month.
Yeah.
That would make sense. You'd be like, yeah. But then it wouldn't. I guess it wouldn't make sense for the bigger. Or would it? I don't know.
Well, I mean, we always used to say, like, if we had just one release from one, if we could work it so that we had like one bigger or semi-big band who came along and went, yeah, we'll do. You know, we'll put out an EP. Yeah. Because all it would take is, say, you know, a fan base of a modestly popular band to all be subscribed and all be spending, you know, all paying for it. Then that would give us the money and the capital to kind of go, right, now we can have, you know, it would make things a lot easier. It would grease the wheels a lot more, you know, so it gets the whole thing sort of going. But I mean, in reality, the bands that we were dealing with were very talented musicians, really talented guys. But it wasn't always. They were always the most experienced with doing the admin side of the band. Yeah. I think maybe there were, you know, I like all of the people that we recorded with, but maybe there were a couple of times where people kind of we said we're going to work with them, and then they kind of sat back and went, "Oh, great, well, we don't have to do anything now." Yeah. So we all need to, like,
we're not a conglomerate, you know, company.
Yeah, exactly. Like, right, you know,
billboard adverts and this and that.
Yeah, but to be honest, man, I mean, you know, there's things that weren't perfect about it that I'd speak very openly about, but overall, it was a good time.
It's been a fun experiment.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the podcast, if people are interested in it, realistically, mate, the people who are listening to this will probably have already heard about it maybe or whatever. But if there's anyone listening who wants to check out, Super Sick Records. You just do a search for that and you'll find anything that's still because you can still get hold of the releases now. Without signing up, you know, that we always used to be able to buy them after the fact, like a month or so later. So if you want to check it out,
it's still there. It's the idea to put out something. Are you putting out something soon, aren't you?
Putting out the last release soon, which we had a real hard time finishing. It's been a long time coming, but everyone knows we've announced that it's the last release. Yeah. But it should be out within the next week for sure. It might even come out the same same sort of time that this does.
Excellent.
By Joe and me.
Our
Halley's
the house
apparition.
band.
The house band, yeah. Well, no, because we wanted to see it out in the same way we opened it, and kind of mirror it up. But yeah, I'm really proud of it.
The big question is, what's next for Ben Brewer?
It's BUP 2017. It's
2K17.
Dude, I don't know, mate. I don't know. We'll see. It may sound like something really cool, but I don't know. Trying to operate in an adult world.
Well, mate, it's like my friend Jared always says, like, operate or don't.
Mm-hmm. Jared's a very wise man.
Mate, wise words flow from that boy.
Yeah, dude, I think that's about
that could be it.
The show for this time, isn't it?
That's pretty good. Well done, Ben, for getting to the 4th episode.
Mate, well done,
because we got to the 3rd and we were like,
fuck, can't be
but
bothered
now we're
with
at the
shit
4th,
anymore.
We're at the big time.
It feels like, I mean, what did we say? We'll do 6 to start with.
We'll
at least we're going at least 6.
Yeah.
So we've only got 2 more of these fucking things to do.
Oh, thank God. And I don't have to come, and then we don't have to, I don't have to edit it. I don't have to put it together. Make a master. But the 5 minutes it takes to do that.
You know what? Do you know what I'm really encouraged by is that people are actually subscribing on YouTube. Now, I know there's a couple of different places at the moment you can listen to this.
I'm subscribed, so that's one kind of doesn't count.
Yeah, no, likewise. Shit. Yeah, we've got 1 subscriber. I should say actually, only because I got asked this in between after the last time we did recording, was it is going to be on iTunes eventually.
Cool.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
The reason it isn't at the minute is because you get some sort of iTunes, but the algorithms that work with the iTunes podcasting are happier if you start by uploading a bunch all at once.
So like 5 or 6 or something. Yeah.
So if we do the 6 and then we go right, we're going to carry on doing it.
Check it on iTunes.
So it will be on iTunes eventually. If you're listening to this, maybe in the future.
Maybe.
And so if people have come back to this one, it might already be there. If you're listening to this as it comes out, then it will one day. The plan, if it goes on long enough that you want to keep listening to it, then it will be on iTunes.
Yeah.
But I'm happy, man. I mean, a few people have subscribed. We actually got some comments last time as well.
Did we?
Yeah.
On the video?
On the video, on the YouTube channel.
Holy shit.
Yeah, man.
I haven't looked.
Check them out, give them a like.
Maybe I will.
Yeah, maybe I won't.
Downvote him. This guy doesn't know what he's on about.
No, this was quite good. Nope.
No.
What an idiot. But you know what? If people have got, like, I know this is never going to be a thing where me and you are going, please do this, please, and not going to. That's the whole idea, isn't it? We don't want to push it, like, because I think we've both got
listen
enough
to
of
it
that.
if you want to.
Yeah.
Don't if you don't want to.
But having said that, if you've got this far, then you could probably leave a comment, right? Or a share,
if
or
your name's Randy or Jack, or
hey,
you could easily leave a comment.
Well, thanks to a long-time listener, Randy. Yeah. Always gets to the end.
Always phoning in. Maybe we should phone him one time. Ooh, phone in challenge.
We'll see, mate. Or we could do who knows, man? We could do little guests. We might even get.
He said he wanted to join us.
Oh well, now I don't want to do it. Now he said no. Bollocks to him.
He's a dickhead. If you ever meet him, don't.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Don't meet him.
So if you've got this far in the video, then I guess, share it. You know what to do on YouTube. Just do something.
You know what the
throw us a fucking bone.
Throw us a fucking bone. Under 100 views. Throw us a fucking bone.
It's like, come on, please. Start it again. Get to the end. Let it finish. Start it again.
Listen to it while you sleep.
If people want to send you a comment or send you a message, where can they find you on the Twitters?
But you know what? I've been really debating recently about the best place to contact me.
Oh.
And I think it's Teddy Hitch.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it is. At Teddy Hitch.
Man, now I'm going to have to redo the standard description I had going on.
Oh, no. Oh, forget it then.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll put both and then see what happens.
If you put in both, just get rid of the other. But at Teddy Hitch is the better. If you're using at Bite Review, fine.
Yep.
Use it. If not, go with that one. I think. Do you know what? I hate having 2 Twitters. The past week, it's been so annoying. So I'm really tempted to get rid of one. And I can't get rid of Teddy Hitch.
Yeah.
Tune in next time.
If you want, you can find me. I'm at Benjuonlung on everything. So
absolutely everything. Ben the guitar god.
Oh God! No! We're never talking about that again. Okay, I think we're
done.
I think we're about done.
Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.